Hello everyone. In this video, we'll learn about what are getters and setters in JavaScript. Getters and setters are not directly related to classes, but we will be using them when we'll be creating classes. So if someone is not aware, this video is specially for them. And if you already know what getters and setters are, you can skip this video. So let's start looking into it. This is how we create a normal object. We say, let's say it has two variables, x that is equals to 7 comma y that is equals to 6. We hit enter, and what values x hold? It holds two values. Now we can also attach a getter to it using this syntax. We'll say get, and then we have to define a function. Say we define z here, and then as as the name suggests, this function has to be used for getting something. So if it is used for getting something, then this function should actually return something. In that case, we have to return something, obviously. Let's for now, let's do one thing. Let's just return a static value. We can try to return anything from it. And just remove this let from here. Now, if we look into this object, what it says that it has three different things. It has x as 7, y as 6, and there is a getter function that's there which releases this property z. Now, how will we access this property? We'll say m dot z. Notice we defined it as if it was a function, but it is not a function, and we cannot call it, is the first thing to understand. Then what we get when we type m.z, we get whatever we have returned from here, and we can return anything. So similarly, that we return 9, we can actually return anything. Say we want to have x plus y here, and this is not just any x plus y, this is this x plus this y. So now if we say m.z, then it gives us the sum. So it can be used as a proxy value that doesn't set anywhere, but it is always calculated whenever it is accessed. So this is how we can use a getter. Interesting thing is that we have not defined any setter for z. We have only defined a getter. So what if we try to change this value? M dot z is equals to, let's say we abruptly try to change this value to 9. It returns 9, but if we again check it, it's 13, because z is not actually any value that is residing anywhere. Z is actually a function that is there. And whenever we say m dot z, what happens? That this function is executed, and based on the execution of this function, whatever is returned is the value that we get. Now, similar to this, we can have setters as well. Let's see if we add a setter to some random value, not z. We'll try to add setter to z in a very formal way, and we'll see how that works. But let's say we add a setter to this. Now, one thing to note while adding a setter is that we whatever we do inside this curly brace doesn't matter, but it should have one value, and we can name it anything. I used to name it as well, one value as the argument here, because it is a setter. Otherwise, it will give error when it starts to run or whenever we hit enter. So this one value that we have to take is compulsory. Else we can do anything, literally anything. Say we are consoling something. Console log, logging this value 77. See, I created this setter. Missing what we missed. Okay, we missed a comma there. Now, if we look at it, this is the code. Whenever I'll do c is equals to, sorry, m dot c. So I won't get any value if I say m dot c, because m dot we didn't define any getter for c. But what we can do is we can say m dot c is equals to anything. Say anything. What actually happened, that it called this function, and because it called this function, so this value got printed. Funny, right? It is funny. Okay. So is there this value created as well? Let's try to print m again and see what's there. No, there is no new value generated inside this object. C was a setter and C remains to be a setter. Now, going back, how we can utilize this? We can utilize this in the same way to set values. Say we can utilize it to set x is equals to whatever value we give. And so this is one thing that we can do. So whenever I'll say m dot c, say I set it to 99999, what will actually happen is that it will set value of x, because that is how we have defined it. We defined it that it will change the value of x, and we can do all sort of things here that you can imagine of. So we can say x dot y, we can set it to val plus 33. Let's say it does that, and as soon as we do that, m dot c is equals to 0. Then if we print m, it sets value to 0 and 33. If we say m dot c is equals to 7, it will set value to 7 and 40. See, so this is how setters are used. One thing to note while using getter and setter is that we should not try to we should not try to do something sort of this. This is a common mistake that beginners do when they see getter. So first of all, if you have a property that is defined as a property as well, and you assign a getter and setter to it as well, let's say now we have a setter on z, then your getter and setter will get more priority and your property will be overshadowed. So it's this code, this code. So if we do this, actually, let's do this. What I did here is, okay, I again missed a comma. Yes, I again missed a comma. So what I did here is I have created a getter for z that will actually return value of y, and I have also a value z here. So let's see what object holds at the end of the day. Object is not holding our value differently, and if we try to access it, it's not it's not 5, it's 6 there. And if we say we change m dot y to some value else 99, and now we say what is m dot z, it's changed. And say now setter as well we can use, say m dot z is equals to 0. So has it changed m dot z, and has it changed m dot y as well? Yes. So see how we can give multiple names to a single value. And this particular concept that I did right now, we are going to do something very similar within classes as well. So this is something that you should understand to follow up the next set of lectures. And now let's see the common mistake that we were talking about. I crossed that one to show this first. So the common mistake that people try to do is that, oh, we have created a value of z, and now we are setting a setter for this, right? So don't try to do this, because when you write this code, what happens that you're getting z, and inside of getting z, you're trying to get z again. So it will go into loops, and same error will be there if you try to do this. Let's see, because we can see if that error will occur. If I do m dot z, it says too much recursion. Woof, I shouldn't try these things probably. Okay. So what happened? It called z, that called z, that called z, that called z, and went that way. So, and even if I try to set it, because setter as well we defined in a way that goes into loops, because this will call z, this will also call z. See, setter as well went into loops. So this is something we need to take care about, that we should not do, and this value doesn't matter at all. The same thing will happen if I remove this value. M dot z will still give me this error, and if I try to set it as well, it will still give this error. So this is something we need to be careful about, and that's pretty much it. That is, so there is a lot more about getters and setters, and we can go into much depth of how they are different from data properties. I mean the usual properties that we have, and a lot of other things can be discussed about them. But in current context, only this much is important, that you get a hold of what we did right now. So that's pretty much it for this video. Let's hop into the next one, where we'll start classes.